Happy Odin's Day. Happy Summer Solstice 2023. Now I do have a few things I want to talk through today. First, and perhaps the most important, is today is not going to be a new Rune Day. I'm going to take a week off. Let me explain myself. I want to explore ETs and whether they're a thing or not. I've looked into it a little bit in the past, and to be honest, the idea that the runes are split into 3 families of 8 is, from what I can tell from a light delving, a more modern thing than an ancient one. So really all I want to do is just investigate it and see if there's anything more to it or not. What I will do as a guide is use the summary from the Rune Primer section by Swain Plowright, where he says it will also be useful to look for the significance of the order of the runes and their placement in the ETs. The deeper modern interpretations gain much from looking at the 3x8 arrangement. And I mean, it's quite a handy thing. There's a couple of pages with pictures in the Lisa Chamberlain book, which obviously is more focused on a Wiccan practice and bringing the runes into that. But it does make a point of describing the 3 ETs and then being Frey's Et, Hagel's Et, and Tyr's Et. But as said, I'm going to look into that and then I'll make a video on that at some point, just to come to personal conclusions about that. So moving on, there's 2 more things I want to discuss, and the first one is a correction on my path that's been highlighted, thankfully, by the summer solstice. That I seem to have self-induced a focus on Suna rather than Soul, and this leads into sort of a debate you can often see on Norse pagan groups, and that the debate about whether Ragnarok has happened or not. My personal belief, and this is a personal belief, is that Ragnarok has not happened yet. In which case, my personal practice is or should be focused on Soul being a big fireball of light in the sky, and not Suna, because Suna replaces her mother as big ball of fire in the sky as a consequence of the events of Ragnarok. So there are reasons for that I have gone into in other videos. However, my belief is Ragnarok is yet to happen. Whether it's far away or not, that's another debate, and it can certainly feel like it's perhaps not that far away. But that's another discussion. Finally, there's one last thing that's been on my mind and sort of having a theory that, it's just a personal belief again, is regarding stone circles. I mean, obviously, again, when you consider the solstice, people have gone to Stonehenge. The mystery of stone circles, and perhaps our imagination or need to make things grander than they should be, might just have a simpler solution. Because obviously paganism is embraced best being in nature, and we can have sacred groves, trees, and it's fantastic to be in nature and to breathe that in and to honour the natural beauty. And you see debates about pagans owning land and creating temples, and there's always a debate to be had about how do you decorate that temple. And it got me to thinking that, wait a minute, just hear me out, and it's just a theory, and I've got no sort of sources that I can present to you as to go, well, this is backing up my theory. It's more a case of, it's a fault, and it's perhaps a naive fault as well, that different practitioners could be so tolerant of each other as well. But just picture, a stone circle. It is wonderful to see in itself. Stones or stone can obviously endure a great deal, and perhaps don't seem like they change very much at all. However, in my experiences over the past 7 months or so, 9-10 months, going to Cauldron Longbarrow, seeing the stones there at different times of the year in different weathers, while generically they look the same, like with the spring equinox, because it had been wet, the stones appeared different. You notice different things. And my theory at this time is, these stone circles stand where you can enjoy them from a distance, or you can go in them and be respectful. They have no specific intent to them, because it is the visitors, the practitioners, if you are practicing, that bring your intent with you, and the stones can represent what you need them to represent while you are there. And then when you leave, you take your intent with you, so that the next practitioner, whether it's aligned with your practice or a different practice, can equally make use of the stone circle in the way that's relevant to them and their intent, and respect it, practice, and then leave, because the stones can to some extent be faceless, but they provide a blank slate, no pun intended, that say whichever powers you are reaching out towards can make a connection to. And it seems to me perhaps the simplest definition of these stone circles is that they are neutral sacred sites to be used by whoever wishes to use them. You just approach with respect, do your thing, leave with respect, and the only intention they have is the intention of the practitioner while the practitioner is there. But it's a theory, and it's one that you don't have to agree with. It's just been on my mind the last couple of days, and it seems with the summer solstice falling on Odin's day that with the longest day of sunlight, it feels like being atop a mountain and being able to look out in all directions with a vision or your sight unimpaired and having multiple things to take on board, which is again another reason why it's just like no new rune today. It's more a case of, grab all those thoughts and try and make something that's cohesive or offers points to discuss and to consider or dismiss. As always, a practice can be what you need it to be, and even within something as like a Sartre, there are varying aspects that can differ between practitioners, and it's not that one is wrong. It's the journey you're making, and pursue that journey with earnest intent and the gods in your heart, and you'll do fine. And I think that's my waffle for today. Agree or disagree, that's okay. Have a great summer solstice, and I shall see you soon. Goodbye. Thank you.